peão. O peão entrou na roda, o peão. O peão entrou na roda, o peão. O peão entrou na roda, o peão. Roda peão, bambeia peão.
Interesting question. Okay, so a few years ago it was strictly record shops, strictly going to the studio, maybe getting a DAT off someone and going to cut a acetate, hip hop, or should I say drum and bass style. But obviously in the last few years there has been so much more MP3 action going on between places, and I don't really like MP3s that much though. I like MP3s mainly because I can play them on the radio-ish, but I'm never quite sure about the quality, you know. I like to kind of go to the source and get the masters, so I tend to sort of swap a lot with DJs when I see them. So, you know, last week I was in Space and Ibiza and I'd get music off Carl Cox, believe it or not. I get music off Francois Kevorkian, maybe I'll get some stuff off the Jazz and Over guys. Here in the UK, Sinbad's a really good source for me, DJ Sinbad. He's like so quick. I mean, he's on iChat and everything. I don't like to be on iChat because if I'm on iChat I find that it kind of gets a bit difficult to get off iChat, so I just don't go on iChat at all. But he's always on iChat and he's really good at getting stuff, so I kind of ask him if he can give me some bits and pieces, which he does sometimes. That's kind of a bit of a sort of pro and con for me. Obviously it's brilliant for me, the radio, especially the last 10 years. I've been on the BBC. The BBC's really advanced in terms of technology, so from an early period you could listen to the BBC, you know, on your computer. You know, I remember being freaked out. I was in Thailand and I could hear my show being broadcast like that I'd done the week before. So in terms of modernity, BBC is really good. The only problem for me is that my listening figures are really good online, and so it kind of means that they can put me on at any time, and because people will listen to me anyway. So, you know, if my figures weren't so popular, if I wasn't so popular online, then maybe I'd have a better time. You know what I mean? So it's a bit of this and a bit of that, but it's great. I mean, it's definitely global for me, and it's opened up. I suppose maybe the most difficult interview I did was at MIA, when she hadn't even signed to XL. She was really young and she was really sort of scared, and I think I was a bit scared as well, and so we were both scared in the studio and it was a bit freaky. And then she went on to do really well, and in fact last week she did my show again on Radio 1 with Switch and Diplo, and at the beginning of the show she goes, yeah, I know that you don't like me, Giles, but hey, you know, it's funny, it's good, we've got a good love-hate relationship. And best interview, usually the old guys are really good, you know. I mean, I had Mark Murphy, the jazz singer, the other day. I had a Roy Ayers interview that was legendary for me. You know, yeah, so, I mean, my favourite thing is just being able to meet up with the people and to sort of have relaxed conversations on national radio. That's the best. I like it. I like 1 minute having some chaos and the next minute having something really comfortable. You know, that's good radio for me. I think that for me it's kind of like if I get the opportunity to play somewhere I've never played before, then you know, it's nice. So for example, playing in Slovenia for me is really interesting because I haven't been there. And you know, I've been doing more festival stuff, which I'm enjoying a lot, you know, building up my kind of worldwide festivals. So we've been doing them in Sète in the south of France, but we've got them coming out in Istanbul next year, and we're going back to Singapore. I think we're going to do one in Sao Paulo. I'm doing a lot of work in Cuba at the moment, doing some work with some musicians over there. I'm just trying to do things that I'm really excited about, you know, and that are interesting to me and that are going to kind of, you know, be creative for me. You've got to do what you want to do. That's really where, I mean, that sounds obvious, but true, especially in music. I think, you know, too many people have got a career plan, and they go into music thinking they can have a regular career plan, and then they realise they don't really like it as much as they thought. They preferred the idea of it than actually doing it. And so I've always been someone who's like, luckily, you know, lives off my energy for the music, and you know, I don't know, that's why I set up a record label. I knew that running a record label wasn't the best business thing to do because, you know, the music industry is shrinking every minute that we speak, you know. But equally, having said that, I still love the process of, well, to be honest with you, it's the only thing I know how to do. I mean, I can play records okay, and I can sort of, you know, do a few radio shows, but I'm quite good at doing, you know, putting artists together and A&R, and that is one of my skills. So, one of my very few skills. I don't have many, And maybe I'm not good at that either, but I know that I'm better at that than I am at other things, which I'm really bad at. So that's why I do a record label. And there's a few artists that I really like, particularly Jose James. He's a great singer, artist. I think it's just good to see them, and Ben West Beach. It's just great to hear things, and I like it. It's exciting, it gets my adrenaline pumping. I'm working with Mr. Simon Goff. Yeah, that's true. I was running Talking Loud Records, and I knew Simon Goff, who's my partner with Brownswood Records. I knew him from when we were both on pirate radio. He used to be a DJ at a club called Gossips. He used to have a night called Secret Rendezvous, legendary London night. And he used to work on LWR, which was a pretty good station, but not as good as Radio Invicta or Horizon or Solar Radio, the stations that I appeared on. Anyway, we knew each other then, and since then I've been running labels. He was managing Ronnie Size and MC Dynamite and a few others, and so when I started up doing a label, I needed someone who understood the business, who could kind of do all the work when I was having fun being a DJ. Well, the first thing is, don't expect a brilliant DJ. Just expect someone, because the thing is, what I do is quite rare now. I'm kind of pretty old school. I play many different styles of music. Fundamentally, I have a kind of jazzy flavour. So, you'll hear variations of house with a jazz feel, I suppose, and a soul feel, but then I'll also play some broken beat, I'll play some drum and bass, I'll play a little bit of dubstep, I'll play some old rare jazz stuff, and so it's really quite a wide selection of music. Sometimes I mix really well, sometimes I mix really badly, don't blame me. The one thing about me is that I don't have a set plan, so I don't really, you're not going to get what I did the night before. It can change, very much mood dependent. I'm a mood DJ. That's the thing, I'm a mood DJ. So, be ready and be in a good mood. Give me some good energy.